Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. So another Dunlop string that my buddy Macys got me is the Explosive Bite. So kind of excited to try this one because of the name, Bite. So I'm thinking tour bite, right? Because that's the only other bite I know. So I'm gonna go out to the court. Coach Chris and I are gonna try this out. Stay tuned. All right, so out on the court, got my man Coach Chris here, and we're gonna test out this Dunlop Explosive Bite 16 gauge. Stay tuned. All right, so on the court with my man Coach Chris here, we're trying out this Dunlop Explosive Bite, B-I-T-E. So Coach Chris, I strung this Clash Pro at 52 pounds with that Explosive Bite 16 gauge. What did you think of that, Coach Chris?
Like the name suggests, I did find that the strings were pretty explosive. You do have quite effortless power. The other, bite that I can think of is tour bite, right? Solinco tour bite, but it doesn't quite play like that. I think this is a bit softer, so I guess it's easier on the arms, but you definitely do have that added pop, that added spark when you're playing with these strings. And I really do want to compare it to like a softer version of Confidential. From what I heard, it's strings like Black Widow, but it is softer on the arm, and definitely recommend it for kind of the intermediate players who are looking, to add a little extra power in their strokes.
So I did too. I was like, when we first started hitting today, I was like, it was like Black Widow, and he's like, yeah, it's maybe a little firmer than Black Widow, kind of like a Confidential type. But played well. I did my 48 on my racket like I usually do. Again, 16 gauge. All right, so I'm gonna finish the analytics back at the shop, but I'd like to thank Coach Chris for hitting with me today. Coach Chris, where can we find you?
At Christopher Chien, C-H-I-E-N.
All right, so I'll see you back at the shop. All right, guys, so Explosive Bite. It was definitely not like Solinco Tour Bite. It was more like Dunlop Black Widow. The way it's strung up, when I first strung my racket up with it, I was like, man, this is hard to string. It's hurting my fingers. It's got kind of a spiral edge to it. And I was like, this is kind of stiff too. And I'm like, man, this is gonna be a pain in the behind, this string. So I struggled through it, but it's fine. I'm used to stringing Black Widow, so I'm used to stringing this. But yeah, I wasn't very happy about stringing this, using the string to string. So I was like, man, let's see how this thing plays. It actually played well. It actually wasn't stiff and it wasn't hard. It was soft like a Black Widow, had good power, good energy. When I swung hard, it actually took off. I was expecting, arm breaking stiffness, but surprisingly, no. It was actually pretty wonderful. Good spin, good cut on the slice. I was able to put the ball where I wanted to. Decent control. I mean, if anything, it did definitely bite the ball very well. The textured, shaped, kind of a spiral string that this is, makes you impart more spin on the ball. So Coach Chris loved it. He was like shocked by how much power he was getting from the string, how it was pretty easy to control also. I strung mine with the yellow grip and the lead Clash Pro at 48 like I always do, and this is a 16 gauge that Macys got me. I strung the other Clash that I let Chris use at 52 with the same strings without the lead, because he's not used to, the lead. He's not used to a heavy racket like I am. But overall, this is a great string. Try this string if you're looking for spin, an enormous amount of spin. This will provide you actually soft feel and pretty decent control. So I would say, aside from it being a pain in the behind the string, it's actually good. Once you get it on and get playing, you're gonna love this string. So that's the Dunlop Explosive Bite, B-I-T-E, and that's in a 16 gauge, which is gonna hold tension a little better too. So thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.